Ever wish you could just hit that reset button on life? Start over. Well, today we're diving deep into a creature that can actually do that.
Really does it, yeah.
The Turritopsis dohrnii, more commonly known as the immortal jellyfish. We'll be exploring this incredible creature through an excerpt from The Immortal Jellyfish, Unlocking Nature's Secret to Endless Life.
It is a fascinating read, that's for sure.
So we're talking about a jellyfish that can potentially live forever.
That's right. And it's not some giant mythical creature either.
Yeah.
This jellyfish is tiny, barely bigger than a grain of rice. But it has this remarkable ability to revert back to its juvenile polyp stage from adulthood.
Like Benjamin Button, but for jellyfish?
Exactly. It's as if a butterfly could transform back into a caterpillar. So, a typical jellyfish goes through a life cycle that goes from egg to larva, then to a polyp, then to the medusa stage, which is the adult stage, and of course, finally, death.
Right. A pretty straightforward life cycle.
Seems like it. But the Turritopsis dohrnii can actually rewind from that medusa stage, the adult stage, back to the polyp stage and just restart the cycle.
So it's not just slowing down the aging process, it's actually reversing it.
Exactly. And as far as we know, there's no limit to how many times they can do this.
That's incredible. I mean, how is that even possible? What's going on at a cellular level?
Well, it comes down to a process called transdifferentiation. It's pretty complex, but basically imagine being able to take a specialized cell, like a brain cell, and revert it back to a stem cell.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
That's essentially what these jellyfish are doing. They can break down their entire cellular structure and rebuild it from the ground up.
So they're essentially hitting the reset button on their own biology.
You got it. And it seems to be primarily a survival mechanism. When they're faced with things like environmental stress, changes in temperature, physical injury, or even starvation, they just hit that reset button.
So when things get tough, they just become young again.
Pretty much. It's evolution at its finest. Their cells just de-differentiate, tissues reorganize, their body shrinks, and they revert to a simpler form, a polyp.
Like a built-in escape route from aging.
And what's even more interesting is that old age itself can be a trigger for this transformation. They are literally aging in reverse.
It's mind-boggling. Okay, so what's happening on a genetic level that allows this to happen? Is there an immortality gene or something?
Well, not a single gene, but a unique set of genes. In 2019, scientists were actually able to map the jellyfish's genome, and they found a bunch of genes that seem to be responsible for this incredible ability. One of the key players is a gene called FOXO. It's involved in regulating the jellyfish's response to stress.
So they have a gene that helps them deal with stress, which then could trigger this whole rejuvenation process.
Exactly. They also have genes that help with antioxidant production to protect against cell damage, heat shock proteins that help protect their cells from, you guessed it, heat shock and other stresses, and a robust set of genes dedicated to DNA repair.
So it's like they have this whole genetic toolkit for staying young and healthy.
And these genes aren't just passively sitting there. They're actively working to protect and rejuvenate the jellyfish's cells.
And what about telomeres? Those are the protective caps on our chromosomes that shorten as we age, right? Do those play a role in this?
Absolutely. Telomere maintenance seems to be another key piece of the puzzle. These jellyfish have a way of keeping their telomeres from degrading, protecting their DNA, and preventing cellular aging.
It's a two-pronged approach then. They have this enhanced stress response and then an amazing ability to maintain their DNA. It's an incredible combination.
Truly remarkable. You could say it's like they have multiple backup copies of youth built right into their DNA.
Okay, all of this is fascinating from a purely scientific perspective, but I can't help but wonder, what does this mean for human health? Can we unlock the secrets of the immortal jellyfish to, I don't know, maybe live longer, healthier lives ourselves?
That's the big question, isn't it? The potential applications are vast, and researchers are already exploring how these discoveries could impact human health.
Like what specifically? What areas of research are they focusing on?
Well, imagine being able to regenerate damaged tissue, repair organs, even reverse the aging process. Researchers are looking into all of that.
So we're talking about potential treatments for things like heart disease, Alzheimer's, spinal cord injuries, maybe even reversing the effects of aging itself.
It's all on the table. Researchers are investigating how to apply what we're learning from these jellyfish to areas like cell regeneration, tissue repair, even organ regeneration.
It sounds almost too good to be true. Are we really talking about a future where humans could live significantly longer and healthier lives?
It's definitely a possibility. And it all started with this tiny jellyfish quietly demonstrating that the limits of biology might be far more flexible than we ever thought.
So, how are scientists trying to translate these discoveries into something that can actually help humans? What are some of the specific approaches they're taking?
One really promising avenue is gene therapy. Imagine being able to target specific genes to enhance our own cell repair, rejuvenate tissues, even reprogram cells entirely, almost like rewriting our biological code, taking a page from the immortal jellyfish's playbook.
It sounds like we're on the verge of a revolution in how we approach aging and disease. But have there been any real breakthroughs in applying these ideas to human cells? Has anyone actually been able to make human cells younger using this research?
Actually, yes. Just last year, scientists achieved a major breakthrough. They were able to trigger controlled rejuvenation in isolated human cells using mechanisms inspired by, you guessed it, the immortal jellyfish.
So they actually did it. They turned back the clock on human cells. What exactly were they able to achieve?
They accomplished quite a bit. Partial cell reprogramming, stimulating tissue regeneration, even increasing the cell's resistance to stress and delaying aging in those cells. It was a huge step forward.
That is incredible. So what's next? What are researchers focusing on now? What's left to figure out to really unlock the full potential of this discovery?
Well, there's still so much we don't know. Scientists are working to fully understand those environmental factors that trigger this transformation in the jellyfish. They're trying to map out all the genetic controls, figure out how these genes work together to orchestrate this incredible feat of rejuvenation.
So they're basically trying to crack the code of immortality step by step.
Exactly. The ultimate goal is to translate all of this knowledge into practical applications for humans. Imagine things like targeted therapies, cell regeneration technologies, and ultimately extending the healthy human lifespan.
So you're saying there's a real chance that within our lifetime we could see treatments based on this jellyfish research, treatments that could significantly improve our health and help us live longer.
That's the hope. Researchers are optimistic that within the next decade, we'll have a much deeper understanding of how this transformation works, and we'll be well on our way to developing new therapies based on those discoveries.
This is really mind-blowing stuff. This tiny little jellyfish, the immortal jellyfish, might actually hold the key to a longer, healthier future for all of us.
It's remarkable, isn't it? Even if we never achieve true immortality like Turritopsis dohrnii, just studying this creature has already revolutionized how we think about aging and disease.
I mean, it really makes you think, this tiny creature drifting in the ocean could have such a big impact.
It really
It
does.
kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely. And, for so long, we've just accepted that aging is this inevitable part of life, right?
Yeah, like it's just a one-way street, no turning back.
Right, but the Turritopsis dohrnii, it's like, well, what if there is a way to turn back? What if we're wrong about this whole aging thing?
It's like a complete paradigm shift.
Exactly. And so researchers are really looking into other aspects of this jellyfish, trying to uncover all its secrets.
Like what else are they exploring besides this whole rejuvenation thing?
Well, one area that's super interesting is their resilience. I mean, these
Yeah.
jellyfish, they can survive in conditions that would just wipe out other species.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. They can tolerate huge temperature swings, changes in salinity, all sorts of things that would be lethal to most other jellyfish.
Wow, so not only can they seemingly live forever, but they're also these like super tough survivors.
Exactly. And that's what's so intriguing to researchers. They're trying to figure out how how do they do this? How do they achieve this incredible resilience on a molecular level?
So, are there any practical applications for this resilience research? Like, could it help us in some way?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about climate change, right?
Oh, yeah.
As our planet warms and the oceans change, understanding how these jellyfish survive in these extreme environments, it could give us clues about how other species might adapt.
So, we could potentially learn how to protect vulnerable ecosystems, maybe even help other organisms cope with these changes.
Exactly. And then there's the potential implications for space travel.
Space travel, really, how does that tie in?
Well, think about the conditions astronauts face in space, right? Extreme temperatures, radiation exposure, all sorts of things that can really take a toll on the human body. If we can understand how Turritopsis dohrnii protects itself from these kinds of stressors, maybe we can develop new ways to safeguard astronauts during those long missions.
That's incredible. This tiny little jellyfish could hold the key to protecting human health in space. It's really amazing to think about all the potential applications of this research. From medicine to conservation, even space exploration, it seems like the possibilities are endless.
It really is. And it just goes to show you, the importance of scientific curiosity, exploring the natural world, Even those seemingly insignificant creatures can lead to groundbreaking discoveries.
Mm.
Who knows what other secrets are out there just waiting to be unlocked?
Well, this deep dive has certainly given us a lot to think about. I mean, from the cellular mechanisms of rejuvenation to the potential for, well, groundbreaking medical treatments, even the philosophical implications of extending human lifespans, it's a lot to process.
It is. It's a really complex and fascinating topic, that's for sure.
It really makes you question our assumptions about aging, about mortality, about what it means to live a fulfilling life.
It does, yeah. And as research continues, these questions are only going to become more pressing, more important for us to grapple with as a society.
You know, it's really amazing to think that we've learned all this from a creature that's, basically microscopic.
It is. It really highlights the power of nature, doesn't it? I mean, this tiny, unassuming little jellyfish has been defying the rules of aging for, who knows, maybe millions of years.
It's humbling, to say the least.
It is. And, this research, it has the potential to completely transform our understanding of aging. It's really sparked a wave of new research, all thanks to this little jellyfish.
And we're just at the beginning, right? There's so much more to learn. What do you think the next, say, decade holds for this research? What kind of breakthroughs might we see?
Well, I think we're going to get a much clearer picture of exactly how this transformation process works, all the molecular details, the specific genes and pathways involved.
So it's not just about finding a single immortality gene, but understanding this whole intricate system.
Exactly. And that's where things get really exciting. With all the advances in gene editing and our growing understanding of cellular reprogramming, we're developing the tools to really unlock these secrets.
So how do you see this knowledge translating into actual treatments for humans? What kind of real-world applications might we see?
Well, I think regenerative medicine is going to be huge.
Mm.
Imagine being able to trigger the body's own repair mechanisms, developing therapies that can help heal injuries, treat degenerative diseases, even slow down or reverse age-related decline.
It sounds like we could be moving towards a future where instead of just managing symptoms, we're actually tackling the root causes of aging and disease.
That's the ultimate goal, right? And while we might never actually achieve immortality like Turritopsis dohrnii, the knowledge we're gaining, it's invaluable.
It's really incredible. This tiny little jellyfish, the immortal jellyfish, might actually hold the key to a longer, healthier future for humanity. Who would have thought?
It's a testament to the ingenuity of nature, isn't it?
Right.
There's so much we can learn from the natural world if we just take the time to look, to really observe. And sometimes, the smallest creatures can hold the biggest secrets.
Absolutely, and it's a reminder that we still have so much to discover. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder. What if, by harnessing the secrets of the immortal jellyfish, we could actually usher in a new era of human health and longevity? What would that world look like? How would it change our lives, our society? These are questions that we'll need to grapple with as this research progresses, and it's a conversation that's only just beginning. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring.